Okay, so today I'm going to show you a game that I just played last night with a friend I met through Age of Empires from Chile, as well as one of his friends. So I'm CK Weather. The friend that I know here is BrianHoba in red. I am in purple. I'm the Bulgarians, and he brought his friend Antonio in yellow, who is the Franks, and Brian is the Britons. Um, now, the opponents, we don't know these guys. These are just random opponents we queued with. They are playing with Franks, Slavs, and Ethiopians. So Ethiopians are an archer civ, Slavs are an infantry civ, Franks are a cavalry civ. Um, and Brian here in red has the Britons, which is an archer civ, and our pocket player, Antonio, has the Franks, which is a cavalry civ, and I'm Bulgarians, which do infantry and cavalry. And they're my favorite civ to play with because I love that they get the men-at-arms upgrade for free, which gives me some really good early aggression. And then they have cheap Krapos, which are like mini castles, which you can just drop on your opponent's face and end the game pretty early. So I do go with that strategy. That's why I chose to be on the side. It's nice that Age of Empires now, when you're queuing up, lets you choose which side, whether you're on the side or in the middle, when you're before you start. So that's good. So I chose to be on the side. Franks are the pocket player. He's going to go with a fast castle strategy. Brian here on the other flank is going to go with Britons and then try to go into archers. I'm already building my barracks, knowing that I'm going to soon be getting militia, which will upgrade to men-at-arms as soon as I get to feudal age. So, standard opening for me. I see his scout here, but, well, yeah, I try to kill it. Oh, so close. It's got 3 HP left. I even try to grab it with my villager, and it just doesn't work. Looked like he was even trying to tempt me there. Meanwhile, what have I scouted? Okay, I sent my scout in a loop. I found green, but I didn't find my opponent over here. He's sitting right over here, right in the fog of war here. So I'm looping back around. Alright. So he's actually pushing deer. That's interesting. So Brian went with an early feudal, and so did the guy he's up against, which is Franks. So I've got my militia coming out. I finally see... I see where he is, finally. So instead of going this way, I'm going this way. I see he's trying to wall up, so I go ahead and harass this villager just so she doesn't finish that wall, because I need to get my men-at-arms through there. What am I going to do after that? I don't know. It depends. I know that there's a lumber camp here. So I figure, I guess that's where I'll attack first, but since he's got a spearman out here, I may should just take care of that first. It'll be pretty easy. Spearmen are really bad against men-at-arms. So he's just now seeing my men-at-arms, and so he's pulled these villagers off of wood. So even though I didn't kill any villagers there, I consider that at least some decent economic damage. Now I'm looping these men-at-arms around. So I send them away, far enough away that he'll think they're gone, but then I move over here to the gold. But he knows that they're coming, so he's already walling in the gold. I see that he's walling in the gold, so I go ahead and just try to kill the rest of his deer. It's not everybody likes that kind of move, but it's been done to me so many times that I'm just like, I accept that it's part of the game. And he actually left a hole here with his in his gold, so my men-at-arms snuck in. Killed one villager. He's going to try to run him out through the hole in the wall he just made that So he's getting good damage here. These villagers aren't back onto wood. These villagers are off of gold. These villagers are stuck in here. There's 11 on wood here. That's a lot. But they're stuck in there. Can't do anything else. He's forced to go into archers, which he was going to go into archers anyways. He's Ethiopians. So that's expected. Meanwhile, at home, I'm getting close to going to Castle Age. While the guy I'm up against there, he's also fairly close. He could do it too soon. In fact, he's got both buildings down. Do I have both buildings? I do have both buildings, so it's close now. Brian over here is fully walled. He's sending some archers out. Okay. Meanwhile, he finally got rid of my last men at arms there. So he sees this wall over here, decides to... okay, I don't have a market yet. Okay, so our pocket player was the first one to Castle Age at about 16.5 minutes. So that's pretty good. You like for your pocket player to be playing fast castle so they can get a good economic boom going, and then provide support to the side players who are going to do most of the aggression. So now that my men-at-arms rush is over, I'm on my way to Castle Age. My opponent's bringing archers over to my base, which I know that's possible. So I've got two stables ready for that. Brian is pressuring blue here, who cannot finish taking his berries because he's got 12 archers there. Although blue did just advance the Castle Age, so that should be at least a little bit worrisome for Brian here, who just has feudal age archers. Meanwhile, these archers just showed up at my wall, so now I know they're there. And I know they may break in, but I'm actually not going to stop that. I know I'm almost to Castle Age, and I can just drop some knights to make that happen, or to get rid of that. Just like what's happening over here, unfortunately, for Brian. 4 knights are going to do a pretty good cleanup job on these archers. Does the knights have upgrades? Yeah, it looks like it does. So, while his archers are getting cleaned up over there, I'm prepping to do the same over here, already building the knights, and sending them over to where I expect the archers to come in. Yeah, he's going to lose all those archers. That's unfortunate, but that's one of the things that comes with archers. They are vulnerable if you get some units in up close. Thankfully, I've only got 5 archers against me, so I can probably take those out just with these 2 knights. Yeah, those are just melting. Look at that. So even though they were a bit of a annoyance to be breaking in my walls here, I was confident to be able to get rid of them. Meanwhile, he sent another band of archers on this direction. So I have not finished this wall. I should have. This villager is just sitting here waiting to be shot. So, and I have sent my villagers off to do the Craypost Rush, which is my typical move here. I like to do it right at the start of Castle Age, but it doesn't usually happen. But since he shot that villager, I know these archers are coming. So here come a couple more knights. So he's going to have to run again. He is still in feudal age, so there's no upgrading these archers. They're just going to die to these knights. Meanwhile, does he see what's going on here? He does not see this Craypost going up right outside his wood line. So, poor guy. He's going to be in for a surprise soon. Meanwhile, these knights are still chasing down these archers. They'll clean those right up. I still don't have a market. This is one of my one of the flaws in my strategy. It's not designed for a team game. So you need a market to be able to see what the opponent's doing. Alright, this Krapos is about to get up. And there it goes. One villager down immediately. So he should find out about this pretty soon. Once I see that I can't range any more villagers, I just decide to go ahead and break the wall and send these knights in, hopefully. At least that was the plan. I might have gotten distracted. I believe I did get distracted. Meanwhile, our pocket player is starting to produce knights. Brian's rebuilding his crossbows. Now my knights go in. He's got some spearmen here. Again, he's in feudal age. So the men-at-arms rush in feudal age actually delays the castle age. See, he just now got to castle age. So the men-at-arms rush in feudal age actually makes it harder for them to get to castle age in a reasonable amount of time, which gives me an advantage when I do go in with my military here. Okay, so now they've broken into blue again. This time with crossbows and knights up against 4 knights. Now he's upgraded to pikemen, which are a pretty good counter to my knights. I'm just going in here to find a weak villager. I found one. Couldn't kill it. Oh, there's another one. Nice weak villager there. Doink. She dead. Meanwhile, good pressure by my allies on the other side. Their pocket player has not been touched yet. That's probably a weakness on our part. In fact, he's sending elite skirmishers, which would be good against these archers. But right now, it looks like my allies are attacking, although it's a little bit aimless right now. They probably should be making a bigger move to take out some villagers or kill this army here, but it's tough with the TC there. That's going to be a cool fight. Alright, so the knights against the knights, crossbows from behind. See who wins this. Oh, there were a few pikemen mixed in there from green. Green had pikes and skirmishers, which was a great combo against the knights and crossbows, if you can micro it correctly. Unfortunately, this looks like it's going to be a cleanup. But this is their ally that I'm pushing against. He's got a nice big army out here, actually. But it's pretty far removed from where I'm attacking. I've actually got a good deal of conics in here. I could send those out and get some good damage right now, but ultimately I'm just a little too scared to do that. You see the army he has here, you know, that could just as easily be over here waiting for me inside his base. I don't know that. But building a siege workshop so that eventually I can make a siege push as well. Okay, so Brian and Antonio, they both speak Spanish, and my Spanish is not very good at all, so I don't know what they were doing there, but they were just signaling to each other, prepping for another attack. Meanwhile, these archers are going to be a problem for me. So I finally see, I think I see them about now. I have to let my allies know. So yeah, I'm running those villagers. I need to run a few more. Meanwhile, I figure while he's distracted with that, that's the perfect time. Since his army's there, and I've got an army over here, I might as well use it. So I'm sending these in, trying to find some villagers to kill. In fact, I think I kill a lot of his economy here. He does have bloom on his villagers. Mine, I've also got to watch these two, because they're just going to sit here and die if I don't send them in the TC. Okay, good, I did. So while I'm fighting that, he's losing a bunch of villagers over here. This is an absolute massacre. There's some forward pressure on this side. Green's building a castle. While because he's distracted with the the army that I've got in his base, he's let his archers walk into my town center fire, which is not good. He's lost most of those archers. And I signaled my ally Antonio's over here with knights, which will pretty easily clean that up. And in fact, I'm signaling him now, saying, hey, go on in. They're going to get killed. Meanwhile, just absolutely destroying Teal's economy. So I've got 55 villagers. Teal is down to 21 villagers. So that is straight up murder. And thankfully, yeah, we're just sort of running them around, dragging this army in towards the TC where it can get killed by the arrow fire. Okay, so we've got a good cleanup there. Now I've got to recover my eco. Again, I've got 57 villagers, so they survived, but right now most of them are in my TC not doing anything. So this is one of the problems. Once you're done getting raided, once the raid's over, you really need to put all these villagers back to work. And it can be hard to do sometimes. You can hit the go back to work button, which sends them back to the last task they were doing. But it doesn't always work right. There's some sort of bug with it. Sometimes they just go somewhere nearby where they were working, and they just sort of stand there. And then you're like, you don't find out about it. Like this chick right here. She's just sitting there. She was a lumberjack. She should be chopping trees. But maybe the tree she was chopping isn't there anymore, so now she's like, what do I do? But she's just going to sit there for quite a while before I notice her. In fact, I've got 6 idle villagers right now. 4 of them in that TC. One over here is... yeah, it's a bunch. Meanwhile, still prepping another attack here. Starting to build battering rams, which should take all of that out. Meanwhile, there's more fights going on over here. Antonio's bringing his knights over. He should try to build some more knights soon. Frank's, that's their strength, is the knights. Brian actually went to Imperial Age already, the first one in Imperial Age, red here. I'm a little surprised. I'm amazed he did that with how much food he's got here. But he's prepping for what he knows is going to be a big fight here. So I know he's bringing pikemen, or I've seen them before, so I'm assuming he's got pikemen. So he's got crossbows. All right. So here's some pikemen, just a couple. So that's why I'm building longswords. So again, with Bulgarians, the militia line, so militia, men-at-arms, longswords, two-handed swordsmen, those upgrades are all free. So as soon as I go to Castle Age, any militia I've made are two-handed sword or longswordsmen. So that's a pretty good counter to pikemen. So I'm just loading these rams up with longswords. So if I do find some pikemen, which will probably go after the rams when they come in, I can just unload them and kill the pikemen. And then follow it up with these conics and knights. Meanwhile, they are prepping for a big fight over here. So in real time, I just could not keep up with what was going on over here. Basically, Teal and I are having our own little fight, and I pretty well murdered him already, but he's still hanging on. He's trying to reboom up to 35 villagers. So that's a good job on his part. I'm up to 73 though, so more than double. So my eco is more than double his. And I've got some forward army nearby. He's trying to send another round of archers. I don't blame him. Pretty good move, especially since I'm still not walled. 38 minutes in, I should be in Imperial Age. I'm not. I should be walled. I'm not. But that's the way it is. Meanwhile, this is going to be a big fight. Okay, so I don't think Antonio sees this. They're just passing here. Yeah. Okay. Now he sees it. So again, I saw those. So I saw that those archers over there at my base. So I figured that's the perfect time to go into his base with whatever I've got. So sent the rams in. The rams took out the town center pretty quickly here, and the conics are doing loads of damage on these crossbows and the villagers. Even the pikemen Although the pikes are good with the cavalry, the thing about conics is once a conic dies, it the rider of the horse just hops off the horse, and now he's a dismounted conic, which is an infantry unit, which does well against pikemen. So once he gets off his horse, he does well. So now Teal has to run villagers. So he's got 8 villagers running over here. He's like, I need to set up a new base somewhere. This isn't going to work. And a good call on his part. Now, I should realize that there's not much left over here, but I don't. I think there might still be some up here. Meanwhile, this fight over here is not going well for my team. It's a big fight, though. I mean, look at all the production buildings. A couple of castles. We just lost one over here. But I think with Teal out of the game, see, I still think that I'm building a castle here, thinking that I still need to apply pressure, but I don't. There's no more Teal villagers on this side. In fact, how many villagers does he have? He's down to 8 villagers. Those are all his villagers, building a new TC here in the middle of nowhere. Meanwhile, let's check this fight. Blue and green are doing a good job of pushing with skirms and Cavalier now. Brian is up to arbalests, and Antonio is running around with a few Cavalier as well. I'm still not to Imperial Age. I swear, with all the aggression that I do in Feudal and Castle Age, I don't even think about Imperial Age. Meanwhile, this isn't going to be a good fight for my team. Unfortunately, these arbalests are not protected, so and Cavalier have pretty good amount of pierce armor, so it's going to take a lot to kill them. And this was his primary TC, so they are going to mop this army up, but they're still being attacked by trebuchets. That's a good job with the knights here killing the trebuchets. Now those knights should, well, no, they died to the pikemen. Okay. So, Cavalier, actually, sorry. Ooh, oh, almost. Oh, man. So, I'm trying to send my army this way. I realized there's not much left of Teal. Finally, I scouted around his base to realize there's nothing here, so I'm sending the army off to where the actual fight is. I don't think I saw that. That would have been a pretty good pick-off there. Just drop these 3 conics right over there. That would have been good. So, we'll see what happens here. Again, in real time, like, oh, now I'm pushing in on green. Oh, nice. It's got some Cavalier in here as well. And that's blue resigned. So blue realized that now that we were into green's base and Teal was dead, that there wasn't much use to continue. So, and my army finally arrived to help my allies over here. I swear, team games are so hard for me. It's hard enough with how fast-paced this game is to keep up with your own stuff. But then to realize, oh, your ally might need help, coordinate your army with your ally's army, like with Antonio with his knights and Brian with his archers. It's just hard to make sure you're both in the right position and paying attention to the right things at the same time. It's difficult. Blue and green did a good job, and honestly, red and yellow, Brian and Antonio did a good job as well. Antonio did a good job booming well, especially with the fast castle, getting into knights pretty quickly so that he could help out. He sent out knights over here to help clean up the archers in my base, and knights over here to help Brian with his side. That's excellent on the part of the pocket player there. And then he went into the other pocket here and started raiding, and that was what did it, honestly. It's a pretty fun game. Again, I didn't get to see most of the action down here on this side of the map in real time because I was focused on what I was doing up here. But I think my allies did a pretty good job here. And for sure, Brian took a lot of the incoming pressure. So while I was pressuring up here, their team was pressuring down here. So Brian did a good job stalling, keeping them from going in until fairly late. By the time they did come in here, Teal was dead. So that was a good job there. Take a look at the stats real quick. Blue MVP. They think I'm the MVP too, probably because I killed a bunch of units. Yeah, 155 kills. That's pretty good. 19 buildings raised. Looks like Brian probably had the best economy here. Brian had 107 villagers, so Blue had more villagers, but didn't quite get as much resources out of it. Let's see here. Yep, our pocket player, Antonio, was the fastest with his fast castle, so that's good. That's good. Their pocket player, Green, was a full 2 minutes slower. Almost as slow as I was, which honestly, with the strategy I do with Bulgarians, 20 minutes is about right for what I get for Castle Age. But so 19 and a half is actually pretty good on my part for that strategy. I never went to Imperial Age. Like I say, I usually just forget about it, or I don't save enough gold for it with all the conics I make. And I also didn't get to 100 villagers, so it's one of the goals I have in every game is to get to 100 villagers, so I really have a good boom going. Brian got there, and so did Blue. And you can see here in the Feudal Age, this is when I had my militia turned into men-at-arms, and they took a little bit out of Teal here. And then the push here in, late feudal for him, early castle for me. He lost more villagers and most of his army that he sent to my base. Then he lost his other army and a lot of his villagers, and this is where he collapsed and ran his villagers. I don't think, okay, he did try to build 2 TCs here, but he's only back up to 10 villagers. So unfortunately, Teal just was having a really hard time there. Overall, again, I think it was a pretty good game.